I can't help the feeling that it's been ages since the last time I've trained, but I mean, it's been a couple of weeks, but when you come back from training multiple time a week to just not training for a few weeks, yeah, that feel weird. But that might also mean that this recovery phase was really great. So we'll see about that. Today, we are just getting back to it. So I'm not going to go crazy. My goal is to kind of try with the driver to see if I can get back to 115 smoothly without forcing anything. See how my body feels and everything. And also we are going to review the techniques, the different things that I've been working on with the different parts of my game and so on. Anyway, let's get to it. So with wages, also new shoes, because my old shoes kind of were just too painful and not really great. I just didn't like it. Those ones, the Air Max, are the best shoes. At least for me, I like that's the one I like the most. So I think from now on, I'm just going to buy those ones, and that's it. I mean, that's the first day I'm wearing them. That hurt a little, but nothing compared to actually normal shoes. So on the first day, it's already good. So that's something I like about it as well. So I've been trying with the wedges, kind of until now I was kind of loading my right side to kind of get to my left side and so on. That's fine with longer iron or with the driver or woods, but with the wedges, I mean, good ball striker with iron generally kind of go left as they move back and stay left. They don't kind of get back, load the right side before moving. And that's kind of, I think, why my iron game is less good than my driver and so on. What I'm trying to do is kind of just the thing that I'm doing at the top, kind of doing it right here, but trying to kind of open the club face as I'm doing so. Because if I just kind of move the hand that way, you see, well, I try to kind of keep almost the triangle here moving on the vertical plane. The issue if I don't open the club face, I'm getting that way. What I'm trying to do is kind of getting the triangle of my arm here moving on a vertical plane, and at the same time kind of opening the club face. So, and as I'm doing so, I move my hand back and try to get my triangle on vertical plane. And I'm doing so, I'm trying to shift to my left side. I don't have the thing that when I start moving the club, I'm loading to then get to my left side. That I'm not doing. I'm doing that after with the iron. But with the wedges, I kind of want something that is much simpler and easier to kind of execute over and over and over. So we'll see. Let's do a few shots like this. Also on the way back, I kind of have found something is to maintain the spine angle, dropping the arm is kind of something great that helps. It's like there is two movements, kind of you drop the arm and shift your weight to the left, and that alone drops the club. And then this is just about rotating through to get the club into the right position. So you have two motions. You have the rotation and the kind of shift to the side and dropping the arm. That alone, if you just do that, this is how it looks. You shift and you drop the arm, and then you move back into the impact position. But here's the deal. With wedges, I kind of start getting too much inside. If I kind of, it's just that there is two ways to actually rotate. Either you're kind of pushing the right heel forward as you're pushing, and that allows to shift the hips even more forward and allow you to kind of come from the inside, which is great with the kind of iron and woods, but with wedges it kind of tend to come too much from the inside. So the other way you can rotate is actually get kind of collapsing that knee inside to get the right heel moving up like this, directly. You don't want this, you want directly this. And that allows you to kind of get over the ball a lot quicker and don't have this big shift of the hips like this. And with the wedges, it's kind of what I want to do here. And there is multiple reasons, but I'm going to not go too much in detail here. Yeah, I mean, I can explain. It's like the fact that because I'm opening the club face a lot at the top, so it's kind of open compared to the club path, and so that you need to kind of come back a lot more over the top. Rather, if the club face is close compared to the club path, then you can shift a lot more the hips and so on. I mean, that's kind of I'm start getting a little bit in complex detail here. Let's see two more and we'll move on. I mean, that's kind of consistent, so I like it. Okay. We're on to 6-iron. So 6-iron, so that's kind of the wedge, the technique that I've explained here with my wedge is the technique that I've explained with my wedge is kind of the technique for my short iron. I think I might go as far as 8-iron, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the technique that I want to keep just with wedges and maybe 9-iron, or if I go all the way to 8-iron. I don't know. But then when I move on to 7 and above, so 6-iron, for example, that's changed a little. First, I'm going to shift a little more my weight to the left, then kind of open the club face as well, and then kind of trying to get across the line like this, but with the club face open to avoid getting too much across the line. So it's kind of the arm are trying to get across the line, but I'm trying to keep the shaft relatively as perpendicular to the ground as I possibly can. And then here it's where I'm going to kind of drop the club as I told you, but I'm going to kind of shift the right heel inside to kind of come much more from the inside and kind of close the club face, because I want to get from an open position at the top to a closed position, so I'm going to rotate my wrist quite a lot. So there is really this load, boom, and then once I'm there, and it's really like you do the shift, you drop the arm, and then you don't do anything. Just you try to use the rotation to pull the club into the right impact position. But honestly, the upper body doesn't do anything. You just drop the club here as you shift, then you rotate through, and that's the rotation that is pulling the club toward the impact. That's not the upper body or anything. Okay, 92. That's kind of slow, but I'm kind of expecting to not be that fast. Because in terms of feeling, I feel that should be way faster than that. But on the other hand, I'm kind of swinging. I mean, I'm probably subconsciously retaining myself, so that's okay. At least that feels great. See, as soon as I kind of liberate myself a little, but I mean, that's been 3 weeks that I've not been eating any balls. My nervous system kind of dropped and relaxed, so probably, yeah, I've lost a little bit of speed. That's okay, that's okay. As long as I can get to something that is relatively decent, I'm fine. Okay, slightly faster. My body starts to wake up. Yeah, my right knee is not completely recovered. I still kind of have some weird feeling, but I hope it's okay. I hope it's okay. Not well struck this one. But I mean, that's straight, that's pretty accurate. So that's a very big variation in distance. There we go. Much better. And this one was great. Anyway, no, not 4. I think I'm fine. Fine with 6, moving to 5 wood. Remember, when we practice that, it's not about. This here is just about speed. It's not about getting comfortable with every iron and so on. But at least I practice one time at each session, kind of the motion with wedges, mid iron to long iron. My wood, it's kind of, now it's almost like I kind of have 4 different techniques that are optimized for specific ranges of distance, or at least clubs. And I mean, I don't have to work too much on them. It just work a little bit at each session, and then next year we will focus on really nailing down all of this technique. But this year is just about, okay, getting faster with driver, and actually learning how to translate that with other clubs. Going to come slowly after. Okay, 5 wood. So we'll see how that goes. But on what I've saw, so the main difference I'm doing is, so I'm going to load, kind of try to open, always kind of, because since I've changed my grip to a stronger grip, kind of the first move is always to kind of try to open the club face. But then where things start to change is when I start resisting and kind of get this motion and this motion with my arm. Here with the iron I kind of try to keep the club face open. But here I'm kind of almost feeling that my right hand close the club face, while my left hand try to keep the club face open, to kind of create an opposing force, to get the club face slightly more closed. The reason being is, since I want to hit more draws with my wood, come a little bit from inside, I need the club face to be slightly close compared to the club path. And so that's what's going to help me do that. Closing slightly the club, at least getting the feeling that my right hand is slightly closing the club face at the top. And the consequence of that is also, see, when you're punching here, you see, the natural motion of the arm is to rotate that way. So this is what happens when I'm doing that. Once I start pushing with my right arm here, it's a very weak position to kind of just open. You see that that doesn't feel very powerful to do that. But to do that, you feel very powerful. You feel power. And so that's kind of the sensation I want to have. Once I load here and I start pushing, I want to kind of have this punch where the right hand is getting over the shaft like this. This is a very strong position, and since we are looking for power, feeling strong is a big part of power. And I think this ability to kind of rotate internally the right arm as you're pushing and resisting in the backswing is a good way to generate power. At least to feel stronger, and when you feel stronger you can generate more power. Wow, I don't know if that if this is the chicken of the egg or the egg of the chicken that come first, but I don't know if the feeling of getting strong is because you are stronger or just, I don't know which one comes first, but what I found is, generally speaking, when I feel stronger I am faster. So okay, 107 is not that bad. I didn't really push that hard into it. And the woods outside of the driver are my 5 wood and my 3 wood are kind of in between. It's like I can use the driver swing and I can use the long iron swing. It's just as long as I'm doing the thing that I explained in the backswing. Then in the downswing, that's kind of a little bit tricky. Because if I do kind of the iron swing, I'm going to kind of come too much from the inside and really do a big push draw. Oh la, fuck it. Yeah, I missed the ball. yeah, push a lot. Because here's the deal. With the iron, since I'm opening the club face at the top, the shaft is kind of a lot more flat. Here, since I'm trying to close the club face, I'm going to get a little bit across the line. So even though the club is longer and the ball further in the stance, which should actually get me less from the inside, the compensation that I'm making at the top makes that if I do the same downswing that I do with my iron, with my wood, then I'm going too much from the inside. I'm going to push the ball and do quite a lot of push draws. Or I'm going to go over the top like this. Yeah, when I do it correctly, it's quite a lot of push draws. The ball starts a lot right and covered. I mean, that's kind of okay. It's just that, as I said, the way I feel it is kind of I can do the two swings. It's more like this is the safe swing. This one is kind of the safe swing where I don't want to mislead, even though the first last I kind of misled. But if I really try to kind of focus on the push draw, here normally I should be able to kind of do a nice thing. Yeah. If I focus on really pushing it and let it the draw take over, that's going to be fine. But and also what I like about this is it's kind of contained in terms of speed, so that's okay. But if I move on to the kind of the little trick that I found. See, at the beginning I told you that with wedges I kind of do something like this to kind of go a little bit over the top to avoid getting too much inside. You can actually do the same here with the woods, and especially with the driver, and I'm going to explain just after how I'm doing it, but I'm going to show you what that might look like. And my guess is that generate a lot more speed. After with the driver I'm going to explain why. But let's see if I do it, does this generate way more speed or not? Yep, that generates more speed. And didn't go that hard, it's just the mechanic just make things go faster. Just it does. So I'm going to explain something just now, what it means and how I'm doing it. So the idea is the faster so you're loading during the backswing you're loading your right leg, and then boom, you move to that left leg, and the faster you're able to kind of release all the weight from the right leg, so your weight kind of completely drop on that left leg, the faster you're able to transfer the weight from one leg to another, the sooner you can start pushing and actually generate more speed. Thing is, if you start the downswing and both feet touch the ground, it's kind of a very slow progressive motion where as you move down you kind of slowly transfer the weight from the right to the left, and to then kind of be able to transfer the energy towards the club, which was what I was doing before with my iron and at the beginning with my FI wood. But here's the deal. What if once you start the downswing, suddenly you completely kind of release the pressure of your right leg? You don't necessarily try to shift your weight, you just release the pressure from the right leg. Suddenly your entire body is going to drop on your left leg, and if the left leg doesn't catch, then you're just dropping. And so that's kind of the idea here. Well, I'm going to get across the line a lot and come a lot from the inside. Okay, so I can compensate on doing that, but by doing so, there is something very interesting that I took from Kyle Berkshire, is if once you start the backswing, suddenly you kind of leave that left heel of the ground, completely relieve the pressure, and moving that right knee inside like this. As you do transition, first of all, you're not shifting enormously to the left side and causing you to come too much from the inside. You rotate extremely early, and then your leg is in a very powerful position. See, the issue with moving that right heel forward like this is at the moment of impact where the leg needs to drive the force through the ground as hard as possible to deliver the club face. The external rotation like this of the right leg is kind of a weak motion. So that's very difficult to kind of generate a ton of force. And also, because you're kind of constrained by where your feet is in the ground, that's difficult to rotate, especially with the driver where the stance is very big. I'm kind of limited in rotation. That's not that big of a deal when I have kind of a smaller stance with the iron where I can kind of push that right leg and clear my left hip, and that's okay. That's enough rotation to make a good swing. But with the drivers, that start making some things difficult. So the idea is, once I reach the top, I kind of lift that right heel off the ground, bringing that right knee inside, so there is no more pressure on my right leg at all. What happens is immediately my weight is shifting to my left leg, and I need to resist. And what happens is, you see that by dropping the knee inside, I'm in a position where I can push extremely hard with my leg here. I am in a very strong position, almost like a sprint-like position, to push into the ground towards the target, to release the hips, to turn the hips as far as I possibly can. And here, I am creating as much rotation as I possibly can because my feet is literally on my toe. So the only way I can move further is actually by dragging my right foot forward. But then I'm losing the pressure, so it doesn't work. But so that's mainly the goal here, is you release the weight as fast as possible from the right leg, so the weight completely drop on the left leg as fast as possible, and then having that right leg in a very strong position to then push off the ground through impact to release the club as fast as possible. That's kind of the whole dynamic. That's a very complex motion. Here we start entering into very advanced technique. But if I want to reach my goal of 130 miles per hour by the end of the year, I'm gonna have to give it my all. So let's see how that goes. First swing, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit 115 on the first swing, but if I can, that's going to be fun. I don't want to force too much because I told you, my knee is not yet recovered. I don't want to hurt myself. But doesn't mean we can get some good swing. So let's see. Okay, 14.6, that's not that bad. It was a very chill swing. And also, there is something else. So that's kind of the thing on the downswing, but on the backswing, I realized that, see, the main thing that I did to generate more speed was kind of trying to do my long drive swing, but then creating more torque to because when I do my long drive swing, my swing kind of get long. And so I was afraid of that, so I was always trying to reduce my length. And so when I realized, actually that was the thing that was preventing me from getting faster. Because by trying to get shorter, actually I'm putting less effort, less strength into the swing, and the club gets longer. So actually that's the opposite. I need to create as much width as possible, as much energy as possible to go as long as possible, but creating as much torque as possible. The idea is the club getting long because you're not creating enough torque. If you're creating torque is just the distance between you and the club. The more torque you're creating, the more you are able to kind of keep the club short and not getting past parallel. And so, and one of the things, the same dynamic of weight shift that I've told you about right and left leg, happen with the left leg as well on the backswing. Meaning, if here I try to create as much width as possible, but I'm still having some weight on my right leg, on my left leg, sorry, then I'm not able to create the maximum torque. Where if I completely I don't have maximum pressure on my right leg to create that resistance that I need to create massive torque. But when I start lifting my left heel which previously I thought, oh yeah, but that's not good because I'm going to get too long. But that's not the right way to think about it. If I start leaving, kind of try to relieve the pressure of my left leg and kind of lifting my left heel a little bit, what happens is suddenly I don't have pressure anymore on my left leg. And so I'm creating massive amount of pressure on my right leg to create massive amount of torque. So I think I'm going to be able to rotate more, create more torque, and so being able to generate more power while without probably getting too long. Maybe I'm going to get a little longer than usual, but it's probably not that big of a deal. And I think if I do all of that correctly and with normal amount of intensity that I'm usually doing, I think once I'm getting back to cruising, I think I'm going to be, with all of that, able to swing about 120. Because here, I think if I'm doing all of that, I can already get above 115 without having too much warm-up. Yep, 15.6. And that was really a shitty swing. So, and I didn't even do the downswing right and so on. So, yeah, I think if I can do everything correctly and getting my once my knees recover, that I've done the speed stick, because not having done the speed stick for a while, now my system nerve kind of drop, and so I've lost the benefit of the speed stick. Once I get back to it, to everything, I think I now have everything that I need to get into the 120s. Maybe not high 120s, but somewhere between 120 and 122. But we are still have a long way to go for 130. Oh, was bad. I felt that it was weird, this one. Okay, ooh. I told you, honestly, that's crazy. 117 already. I need to be careful though. But interesting. Okay, but and that's kind of the issue is to all of what I've explained creates a ton of pressure on my right leg, and my right leg is currently hurt, so that's not a very good idea to push too hard here. But I'm happy to see that just I'm able to get somewhere close to 116, 117 without really trying that hard. I mean, with a hurted knee, getting that great is insane. I feel that my club is slightly getting flat at the top, so let's try to push, create more strength at the top here. Yeah, might as well just start hitting the other ball, because the bright yellow, you remember, those fly a lot. Start feeling my knee here. Oh, well, I need to slow down here. 116 is already above what I mean, 116 is kind of where I want, since the goal for this week is 115. But yeah, anyway, just try to make a good swing. Wow, I tried to relax and make a good swing, and it was definitively good. I mean, 117 is honestly, I start feeling not the pain, but the discomfort of my right leg, so I'm not able to push as hard as I want on my right leg. But still, I'm generating some massive speed. That's insane. Okay. I mean, that's insane to think that now I'm cruising at 117. Yeah, for sure. Once I regain my strength, because I lose strength when I get back to the speed stick and when my body starts feeling great again, for sure now we are already. I can really see myself being to the 120 already here, without even a question. Really weird ball flight. I start relaxing a little and getting too crazy about it, so that's great. So, yeah, here that's really a cruising 116. Like, I'm not even trying that hard. But yeah, that's for sure something that I'm going to swing easily on the golf course. Let's try one slightly harder. Let's try to not hurt myself also. Okay, 117. Yeah, I'm subconsciously really retaining myself here. That's yeah, I really feel I'm really scared of hurting myself. So I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to. I don't know how many more I should eat. Probably not that much. Maybe I'll go 30. You know what? 30 and that's fine. I'm not even sure I'm going to try the speed stick for now. I'm going to leave it there, just getting back to it, getting back to training. And that's going to be more than fine. You know what? Let's move you on the other side here. Up, right here. Boink. Better, much better. Hopla. And let's plug the camera in. That way we don't get disrupted, even though I probably won't have any issue. Okay, seems good, seems good. At least I have some kind of a few shots from just checking if the camera is going to fall or not. I don't think so. I think we're fine. That's really about wow. This one hooked quite a lot. And the relax of the right leg here and really pushing into the ground through impact is really powerful. I think of the two things that I've talked about is kind of the thing that generates most amount of power. I mean, when I think about it, it's normal because the first thing requires me to push to create a lot of pressure on my right leg, which at the moment I can't. Where here it's just about releasing the pressure from my right leg, and at the moment I can do plenty of that. My subconscious is really satisfied of this idea. Yep. When I focus only on the downswing part, since I don't have any issue with my injury, any kind of opposite signal happening in my brain, I'm able to kind of get up to 160, 170. Wow, missed the ball. I mean, yeah, those kind of things might happen because I'm pushing so much into the ground. Then from my toe, might get up faster than the club is releasing. So we might have some weird stuff going on like this. Let's not take that one. This one should be fine. Okay, 116.3 average. We are great. We are great. We are great. Great, great, great. I mean, I feel like my backswing is getting slightly long, but I think it's because I'm not able to create the enough torque. But because my right leg is still not completely recovered, I think that's the only very big difference here. I mean, what I'm really happy about is last time when we finished, the goals was 118 for the whole session. For the speed part, after the speed stick, when I fired my neural system and so on. And I'm not that far. I'm not that far from that. So I pretty much haven't lost anything. Maybe that's also because I've kind of find some technical key. But yeah, that's very, very positive, this one. I'm kind of trying to talk myself into continuing, but I don't want. I feel really satisfied about it. I don't really want to hurt myself, but at the same time, I kind of need to get back to training a little. I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, I should hit my wedge. I have no idea. I have no idea if I should push it or not, or if just those 15 balls that I've hit are more than enough for a getting back to it session. Because the main goal is mainly getting strength in the gym. I don't know. I just don't know. I feel satisfied, but the issue is, yeah, I keep hitting ball. I know that that's my speed, but the issue is at the moment I cannot push further because otherwise I might hurt myself. So and I don't see the point of keep hitting balls and tiring myself, which is going to make it less easy for me to kind of progress and recover for my next squat session. Oula. All right. But my shoes are great. I like it. I like it. My shoes are great. Chill swing. Chill swing. How does it go? Okay, chill swing, 115.6. Yeah, that's very decent one. Wow. And that wasn't with a bright yellow, I think. I don't remember. No, I think that was with the older ball, so that's a legit 174 here. And 300 yard carry. 299, okay. 299. Yeah, that kind of chill swing is feel pretty good here. It feels pretty good. I mean, I can. That's very difficult for me to get lower in terms of speed than that. So that's also what I'm really happy about. Is now I kind of have a floor somewhere at 115.5. Unless I'm making some mistake in my swing and so on. But if I do a good swing, I should get somewhere close to that. Pushy, pushy. Pushy, pushy. That's okay, that's not that bad of a push. Okay, 19, let's do a last one and we'll call it a day. We'll call it a day. Because yeah, what's annoying? You know, that's something I'm just thinking about it right now. I feel guilty of not training more. But if I just take a look objectively at what I'm doing here, I've done just what I need to do. And that's sometimes, you know, the big lesson is, sometimes doing more is not the good idea here. When I step back to this session, what is my goal with this session? Just getting back to training and not hurt myself. Provide good stimulus to my knee so it recovers, and so as the next session I feel better to be able to push a little more. The question is, did I do that? I think the answer is yes. I think I've hit 20 balls with relatively good intensity, not too much that I'm hurting my knee, but provide good intensity. The goal for this week is 115. Am I able to swing comfortably above 115? I think the answer is yes. And I could probably go on for a lot of ball and still be above 115. But the more I'm going on, the more risk I take of actually hurting myself again. So, one last ball and we'll call it a day. I don't have to feel guilty, because sometimes this is emotion gets in your way of doing the right thing. Of course, as a pro player, you want to progress and so on. You want to give your best all the time, and if you just come here, it's 50 ball and come home, you feel like you have accomplished nothing. But that's not true. If you are thinking about it in terms of long-term progress, in terms of the plan that you have set up for you to get to your best level. But if you don't have that plan, of course, you will get the temptation to do more things and get out of your own way and start self-sabotage your progress. That's the complex part of being a pro athlete, is you want so much to do more, to be at your best, that sometimes you just overdo it. And I think that's a big truth about how to get to the top, is you just have to do the right thing, no more, no less. I'm going to do just one more because this one is currently left. Oh, I still want to finish on a good one. Last one. No, honestly, it doesn't matter why it goes this one. That's going to be the last one. After all that talk, of course I'm going to lose my focus a little. Okay, that's not perfect, but that'll do it. That'll do it. It's just slightly hilly, so instead of finding that nice little draw and coming back to the center, it kind of faded a little. That's okay. That's okay. So thanks for watching for this nice small session, getting back to training. And I'll see you in 2 days, because yes, now I'm, as I told you, since I want to ramp up the intensity, the problem is this start getting way too tiring in my nervous system, both with the lift, because I'm doing, I mean, not with bench, but squat and deadlift. The issue is it's so tiring for my nervous system that I cannot train more than 2 times a week total, and only on one lift. So I think I'm going to do that, to also kind of do only 2 speed sessions a week. Maybe in between, kind of tomorrow, maybe sometime I will kind of come here to the golf to record content and everything. But I'm not going to train. Maybe I will post one video sometimes about what I'm doing when I'm not speed training. But yeah, the goal is giving myself 2 more days of recovery per week to avoid kind of getting tired the way I did before I got injured. And that way, because I have more days to recover, I will be able to go even harder at each session. Because here's the deal. Here, with the speed session here, if I had to work out tomorrow, I kind of need to manage that, because if I go too hard with my speed training, then I cannot recover enough to be ready for my workout tomorrow. And on the other side, yesterday, for instance, knowing that I have this session today, I cannot go as hard as I want. So I need to prioritize. For now, the priority is making gain in the gym. Later in the year, when we reach the final point of the year where I really need to push to 130, the priority is going to be on the speed session, not the gym. But at the moment, that's still the gym the priority, because what lead me to making those gains at the moment is mainly getting stronger. So I need to keep on doing that until I reach really my goal of strength. Once I reach my goal of strength, then that's going to be another thing. So that's why one day I do gym, the next day I do a speed workout, and I can go as hard as I want, tiring myself as much as I want, because then the next day it's an off day. And then I do it again, and at the end of the week I kind of have 2 full days of recovery in a row. So the last speed session of the week is actually one that I can go insanely hard on, because I have 2 full days of recovery after. So that's also kind of the dynamic I want to install. At the moment I can't physically do that because of my knee, but once I'm completely recovered from that and I can actually go all in, this is what we are going to do. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you after tomorrow. Bye.